Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Ooh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I wanna talk about it. Let's talk about it.
What's together, Texas? What's up, Dallas Fort Worth? What's up, Houston, Texas? We are back, and welcome back to the show. We are the Burning Cold Podcast, and we are your show hosts. I go by the name of Mr. Know-It-All Reaction. And on the side of me at the top, we have our main guy, one of our guys on the show, Mr. B-Dub, Bougie Weirdo, get up for Bougie Weirdo. And from the Bougie Weirdo, we have the first lady of the Burning Cold Podcast. She goes by the name of First Lady Educated Queen. Give it up. Educated Queen. And right on the side of Educated Queen, we have one of the original, Mr. B-Love. Give it up for B-Love as well. And coming in shortly here, we got our guy, the man, the myth, the legend. He goes by the name of Gentleman Jamal. Give it up for Jamal. Yes, indeed. So, yes, we are the Burning Coals Podcast. Here's where we have fire interviews. We have hot topics, burning questions, searing conversations, and we say what needs to be said on this show we have for you guys today, all right? Now, we do allow you, if you want to come on to the show, well, first, you can put your comments on the show. If you want to put a comment on the show, we have a comment section, and you can input your comment on the comment section, and we will definitely read the comment. All right. Now, if you want to come on to the show, we do have 2 streaming platforms that you can come on, and we have a YouTube platform, and we also have a Facebook platform. So if you want to come on to the show, fire up your question, give your shout out, or if you want to give me a personal shout out, say, hey, Mr. Know-It-All, man, you are so handsome. Hey, you know what? I'll accept it, man. So go ahead and definitely come on with it, and we'll get it rock and rolling, baby. Yes, indeed. So, that being said, panel, on this beautiful Tuesday night, how is everybody doing on this beautiful Tuesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time? Hey, what's up with it?
Great.
B-Love, she said we doing great. Hey, look, hold on. B-Love, you don't put the face out there now, man. So what's going on with it now?
Kind of, sort of. I about look.
Oh, I thought that was G-Man on that picture right there. I thought that was G-Man. Yeah, and the night you show your face, he ain't even on here. So G-Man, if you listening, yes, I'm talking about you.
Nah. He'll try to make it in later, but yeah. So EQ, B-Dub, how you guys doing tonight on this Tuesday night?
I'm above ground and not beneath, so hey, life is worth living. Yeah.
Ditto.
Right. You know what, man? This week has been kind of funny with the weather. Like Texas weather, it's unpredictable. Like 1 minute it's cold, 1 minute it's hot, 1 minute it's a thunderstorm, 1 minute it's it's just all over the place. Like it's like somebody just turning the thermostat on and off. Like who messed with the thermostat outside?
I know one thing. I said Joe and his vice been in the office too long not to know how to work the weather machine. They need to get on over there and do what the hell they know how to do, or call Michelle or Barack or somebody back and teach y'all how to press the buttons right. Cause yeah, it's cold and hot.
Listen, you know what? I'm telling you why it's probably cold outside, because just like you said, with the President Joe Biden and Kamala, I think it's because Kamala, the first time I seen her outside, she was shaking hands and doing something. I don't know, man, but I ain't never seen her outside the office or whatever. Matter of fact, I ain't seen or heard nothing from her, but she got in the office. I'm like, what?
Last time I seen that lady, she was saying, Joe, we did it. We did it, Joe.
Girls. Where's Chucks and Pearls?
I ain't seen her since.
Man,
she's laying low for some reason. Maybe that's something we need to talk about. Why she laying low?
Maybe we need to go live and tell her, if you all right, VP Harris, why don't you make it 90 degrees tomorrow? That'll let us know if you all right or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I know one
Yeah.
guy at that pool. Y'all can get in contact with her and let her know what we said. So somebody let her know because I'm
Let
telling
me
you,
Yeah.
text. Let me
yeah,
text her right quick.
yeah,
Look,
yeah.
fam.
Give her a holler. Give her a holler. EQ. Tell her I'm out and put that bring her Chucks and Pearls with her.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, you guys, man, we appreciate you guys for joining the show tonight. We do have a jam-packed show for you guys tonight, and well, look, we already have somebody on the comment section. Miss Barbara Sims. She said, "Hello, everyone. Hey, what's going on, mom? We waving at you now, all the way from the studios here in the Burning Coals
Hey,
Podcast Studios."
if in my Black Panther voice, hey auntie.
Hey, Miss
Yes, indeed.
Barbara.
So y'all, you know what? So we got a jam-packed show for you guys tonight. So we're gonna get ready to talk about it. So let's talk about it.
Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Ooh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I wanna talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Oh, y'all see the topic? We're talking about why are we demonized in public? And we're not only just talking about the public, we're just talking about we're just talking about public. We're just gonna keep it simple. Just talking about why we've been demonized in public. Now, is it because of who we are, or our skin color? Why are we so demonized in public in front of everybody? I'm sure everybody, everybody on the panel here, I'm sure you guys probably have some type of story, or you've seen something on the news, something on social media, to where it looks like us, our people, we are always been targeted. If it's targeted in public, you know, minding our own business, mind you to say. If it's in a courtroom setting, if it's at work, we are the main targets. We are the main victims of being demonized. And then at the same time, we when we in a position to where we have to try to defend who we are, defend our character, it's like they bring out nothing but the worst stuff they can definitely bring out on you. So it's almost like they are trying to make you be the villain in any situation. So EQ, be dub, be love. How do you guys feel about that particular subject of being demonized? Like, why is it that we are always the main target of being demonized, our character?
Well, if I'm your oppressor, and you can't shine as bright as me, so I gotta make you look bad in every shape, form, or fashion because I go as your oppressor. And the thing of it is, besides your rank in the spiritual realm, let me say it like that. I know your rank in the spiritual realm, so I'm gonna do any and everything as possible to keep my foot on your neck, holding you back, oppressing you, suppressing you, and all that. So that way of some racism, socialism, capitalism, you name all these.
EQ,
Yes.
EQ. You like you having some issues with your mic. You
Can you
like
hear me?
coming in and out. I mean,
Can you
we can
hear
hear
me
you, but you sound
now?
like a robot.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can. Go ahead.
Okay. So, and that's the thing. We have to be, you know, that's because of who, and it would take all night to explain that, but that's, you know, we're seen as inferior because people don't. No, I better not say that. I have to be careful what I say on air. But anyway, I'm gonna pass the mic to somebody else.
Be love. Why you think that, be love?
Um, well, to kind of piggyback on what EQ was saying, I can't let you know that you're greater than me. If I let you know that you're greater than me, then that gives you the power. But and that gives you more confidence. Not even necessarily the power. Um, it's the confidence to even want more. And with that, that's just like, say for instance, I'm gonna give you a small, simple example. Black women can wear pink hair, purple hair, blue hair. It's automatically considered ghetto. But a white woman can wear it and it's considered style, fad, maybe something that's, um coming to pass. It kind of shows that she has a little hip or maybe a hop about herself, but it's never known as ghetto. Um, I've known some black women that have had like a blonde red, what would be considered a redhead for a white woman. I've known the color, and it's not even a loud red. It's just a blonde red, maybe a box hair dye, and to kind of give their hair a little bit of style and class and color. And these women were very educated and successful in their business, and they were told, you have a certain amount of days to change your hair back to your regular hair color. So those things are considered pretty much putting us on the back burner because we don't need that attention put on you guys. We need you to stay how we designed you to be, because if you step out of that box, then that means you think you're better, you're on your way to be better, and we got to stop that.
Right, right. Uh, B Dub, what you think about that, B Dub? B Dub, you on mute? Dub, you there? Okay. Well, I you know what, EQ and B Love, like I agree with you guys on the same thing by saying it or whatever. Also, I would definitely add on to that is because I believe that they, like we are expendable as well. We are expendable. So, if we can make this person look absolutely like the worst person on the earth on the planet or whatnot, man. Uh, but they look at it. I think they also look at it to the fact like, hey, you know what? Uh, you know, we can definitely replace this individual. This individual ain't gonna put up a whole lot of fight, no nothing like that. Where they'll put up no mess. Uh, and I believe that that's also can be a contributing factor with how how they do us as far as like try to actually talk about us in a negative kind of fashion, demonize us, and so on and so forth. So you guys talking about power, they don't want you to have no power, or whatever, man. I believe that's also a contributing factor to it as well. Everything I just said with how just you're just an expendable individual.
Yeah.
What do you think about
And
that?
and to piggyback on what you said, one of the main reasons why they do it is because we allow it.
Right, I'm gonna get to that too. Right, yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
agree.
allow it.
We do allow it. We don't
Yeah,
put up no fight about it.
yeah.
We're the only. I'm gonna say we're not the only, whatever. But when it comes to us, we will sit there and see somebody, get the short end of the stick, and we got that type of mentality. Like, you know what? Well, better you than me. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But there was a few months ago. We did a video. We did a show where uh, there was a Hispanic crew that was at work, and I think one of the bosses had did something to one of the Hispanic guys. Well, anyway, he went and made a stink to all the other Hispanics that was working. Every last one of them put down their forks and
Hmm.
tools and walked off the job. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? We got to have that kind of mentality when it comes to
Yeah.
one of us getting the short end of the stick versus saying, well, that ain't my problem. That's not my issue. Better you than me.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We don't do that to each other. We'll sit there and just let that happen, and then that person that's causing all this ruckus will end up. Uh, a lot of people, he be doing a lot of damage to a whole lot of us, just picking us out one by one. You see what I'm saying? But we would stop that in from the beginning, or none of that happened.
Well, first of all, we have to change the way we view each other too, because as long as we keep viewing each other as the enemy, then play right to the hands of the oppressors. So we have to value each other as human beings and rise above what they are trying to do to us. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
We have to rise. We can rise above them demonizing us, because I promise you, the media, makes us look like we're the problem when in fact we're not. See, I'm more afraid of a thug or a criminal in a suit and tie than I am a thug on the street. Because see, I know what the thugs on the streets gonna do, but you with that shirt and tie on, with that suit and tie on, you're different. So but I think we can. It's gonna take some work, some time. We can rise above being demonized, but we got to work together. Just like those Hispanic people, men or whoever, walked out. We got to have that unity, and the only way we can have that unity, we got to value each other. So we have to stop playing into their hands by seeing each other as a threat, with the hate, with the jealousy, and all these other things, and start appreciating one another, helping one another, and encouraging and building each other up.
Right. B-Dub, what you got, my guy?
Well, you know, Hitler started it first. How do you commit genocide on entire people? First, you have to start with the propaganda. Germany, Hitler, they started running ads, like literally just lying on Jewish people, just making up crazy stories about Jewish people to demonize them and make them look bad. So then when you start killing them, nobody cares.
Yeah.
They did the same thing to us back in the day. It didn't quite work. Like post-slavery, the news outlets, the same news outlets that we watch today, way back when, used to run ads claiming that black men would eat white babies and just crazy stuff like that to create propaganda. And it's been going on since the Emancipation Proclamation. And now we've come to a time where it's come full circle, because even when we get killed innocently, forget people who are guilty, like that's across the board. Like people do certain things, there's certain consequences. We're not talking about that. We're talking about people who are living their everyday lives and just innocent in the world and getting killed. And the propaganda has gotten so bad that now we first look at the victim to see, well, try to find a way to do something wrong. It's always an excuse. Comply. That's at the top of the hit list. Oh, you should have complied. Well, Philando Castile, he complied. So it's all a part of a major plan to eliminate certain people.
So B-Dub, so what you're saying so basically what you're saying is they demonize us, so that way the person they're trying to make it seem so you won't have no sympathy for that person, no none of that. Basically saying that person deserved what he got.
If I tell you, if I tell you that a 15-year-old kid got killed in your neighborhood, you would be concerned, would you not?
Mm-hmm.
You'd be like, man, that's 15-year-old kid, that's terrible. But if I tell you a thug who had 3 weed possession charges and was probably most likely gonna do something bad and got shot by the police, you would still think, well, that's messed up that somebody lost their life, but you wouldn't care as much as you would if you just thought an innocent 15-year-old kid in your neighborhood was killed, because you'd be like, what the hell is going on? Why people understand what I'm saying? So you would care much less. And at a certain point, it get to a certain point where people just stop caring at all. And then that's when stuff really, really hits the fan. That's when it really goes bad. And believe me when I tell you, we are walking that line right now.
Right. Right. And they also B-Dub. Also, they think we've been demonized because a lot of times they're covering up some stuff as well. They use as a cover up. Especially in matter of fact, we did a video yesterday where there was a kid that's been locked up for like 18, 19
Mm-hmm.
years, and they demonized the snot out of this kid when he was inside the courthouse. And come to find out, the police department, had knew that the kid was innocent, but they tried to cover up all the stuff that they did wrong by actually, you know, uh, going through the court system, uh, you know, testifying against this kid, making this kid look like he was the worst kid on the planet. Come to find out that the police department that did the cover up or whatever, man, they did everything under the world to try to keep this kid locked up, but end up getting caught. So I say that to say this is a lot of times when they demonize us as well, is because they're trying to cover up their wrongdoing and their shortcomings, and knowing for a fact that if I can just point a finger and say, hey, that person did, that black man, that black woman did X, Y, Z, and then put a mountain of things negative in that person, towards that person, or bring up that person's, history or whatnot, they know for a fact that they're going, people are going to, like you said, B Dub, they're gonna side with him. They're gonna say, hey, he deserved what he got, X, Y, Z, and the beat is gonna keep going on and on.
Yeah, think about it.
Well,
We as kids, we was always told that police officers are great. Police officers and the military are, they're just great. They put their lives on the line for us and this and that. So we hold them at a high regard. So I mean, that's just human nature. If you know you look at a soldier that went over and that's a veteran, which I want to be careful how I say this, but it's the reality. And this is coming from people that have served in the military.
Right.
Most people that are in the military don't go nowhere near no kind of danger. They're on the base, they're training, they work regular jobs just like us. They just on the base. It's insurance. If something happens, we have qualified people there who are highly trained to go handle those situations. But you got to think about it. Like we're not in an active war with nobody. We get in other people's business and pretend like we're in a war, but we're not actually in active war. So most people in the military are not in any type of danger. But that's not to take away from the commitment they made of what they are ready and prepared to do. Right. But at the end of the day, we act like every single person in the military is just this brave person that just went and fought 1,000 wars for our safety and all this. It's like, no, they a mechanic just like you a mechanic. They just a mechanic on the base, working a 9 to 5. So, and the same with police officers. We act like every single police officer. Again, this is coming from people that I know personally that work in different forms of law enforcement, from county, sheriff, state, local. A lot of times their days are fairly boring, which is why some cops mess with people a lot because they ain't got nothing else better to do. But we act like every single day they get out of their bed, their life is in danger. So you're looking at this police officer, and then you look at somebody who's being described as these horrible things when half the time it's not even true, or it's grossly exaggerated. Like they'll just say things like, well, they had a criminal record. Okay, well, their criminal record is they stole a candy bar when they was in 3rd grade. That's their criminal record. But we don't know that. You just hear criminal record, and your imagination goes wherever it's gonna go. And you be like, okay, well, it's a police officer. They're supposed to stand up, help people, whatever. And here's a criminal over here. Well, the officer probably was right. He probably did the right thing, to stop this criminal. Like, no, he shot an innocent person for no reason. And you think they're a criminal because they stole a Snicker bar in the 3rd grade, and that's what the news emphasizes, that they have a criminal record. But then on the flip side of that, you have these mass shooters who are 98%. 98% of all mass shooters in America are white men between the ages of 17 and 40. But every single time it's a isolated incident. Every single time, it's a disturbed person who needs mental health. Like last year, there was 257 isolated incidents. Like that's we're not talking about once every few years or so something happens. And even right now, I'm sure we may talk about this later this week or next week or whatever. You know, the latest shooting in Nashville was a pronoun. Why are we not talking about that? Why is nobody? Why? I mean, it's on the news. Yeah, it's on the news, but they're not really pushing that and blowing that up like they would if a black person had did that. That'd be everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just that they demonize us. I don't know what the opposite would be. They angelize the others because even when they do stuff wrong, they show family pictures. We the victim. I got shot 82 times for reaching for my wallet, and you want to pull my mug shot from when I got arrested for a warrant for speeding tickets 20 years ago. And you want to put my mug shot up, and I'm the victim. But then the perpetrator's white. You want to put a picture of him and his family smiling, so everybody can say, "Oh man, we can't believe he did that. He seemed like such a nice person." You know. So that's just where we at in America.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and I speak when I say this, I mean this for every race. 1950 has just been modernized for everybody. When the black kids were growing up and the slave owners were halfway nice, they thought that the slave owners were heroes to some black kids, And so now that's what you have today. That's what we have. We have now the new modern day slave owners, which is the police, law enforcement. We're trained to think that they're heroes. They're going to save us. They're going to get us out of this mindset. Then you have the slave owners that are now modernized as law enforcement or whoever, whatever you have. They still have that same mindset. You can't get out of order because if you do, then I'm going to tell everybody that you tried to escape. And that escape is I'm going to sell drugs to get my family out of the hood. I'm going to get an education to try to better. When you doing that, you escaping their plan. That's all it is. And so they got to find a way to put you back in your place. And that's why they don't have a problem with treating us the way that they do, because they had to do us like that back in the day to keep us in our place. It was a fear tactic. And so they're doing the same exact thing that they were doing back in the day. They just modernized it. Okay, I'm going to kill every black man because really I fear them, but I'm going to go ahead and kill them because I really, like I said, really you're afraid, but I'm going to kill them to prove my point. I don't want none other black person or person of color trying to let me know that they know their rights.
Right.
So we're going to modernize this with a few exceptions. And the exceptions are only for the black people and or people of color, and they'll give you a little leeway. But if you think about almost every law that has been written is really for the people of color. It don't have nothing to do with them other people. Nothing at all, because they don't abide by those rules.
Exactly.
White collar crimes. Really? Really? Then when they get busted for white collar crimes, they go to a prison that we ain't never even heard of. And it's really not even a prison. It's really a resort. And then you turn around, you get out, you not only can you go work for the company that you used to work for, but they don't save your seat at the table because you took one for the team. So here we are again. You working almost every person that has made it somewhere close to the top. What did you do to get there? Can you hold your head up high and honestly say, these Fortune 500 companies, these billionaires, millionaires, you made your way to the top, but who did you step on to get there? Can you hold your head high and honestly say, I did it without any type of trifling business going on.
Right.
No, you can't do that. And like I said, going back to the modernizing the 1950, they added a little glitter and glam with it by giving a few, laws. I'm gonna let you do this. I'm gonna let you work. I'm gonna let you vote. I'm gonna let you do things that you complained about, that you marched about. I'm gonna let you do all of these things, like I said, with the exception of a few. And they people can say all day long, oh well, it's white people that go to jail for that. But I bet you, if you compare that white person to a person of color, hell, they consider them a person of color too, because they white trash. So, you know, I mean, just keep it real. Ain't nobody with no money that's white or have a last name behind them. They ain't going to jail and getting the same time as somebody black in the hood will be for the same exact crime. The same
Yep.
exact crime. Those sentences are issued uh with by law. They're issued by who you know and how much money you brought to the table.
Right. Well, when you rich, there's a word that they've been using in the court system. This system, in the court system, they use this word called affluenza. Affluenza means that you have so much money that whenever you do something, you don't realize you're doing it because you are so rich and you have so much money. They actually use that as a defense to cover up their crimes. So
Well, when you black and you poor and you ain't got the money, it's a word that they use in the court system. And it's called bamboozle. Your ass, you going straight to jail.
yeah,
Hands go without your $200.
right,
So
right. Yeah, you just a damn fool. That's it.
yeah,
It
yeah,
ain't no defense for being poor. It's not one.
no,
It ain't.
it's not.
And then you poor and black. It ain't no defense for you. So, but yeah, that's a word they've been throwing around out there. I've seen a lot of different cases out there with people that's not black. When they get in trouble, let them have a lot of money. They throw that around as a defense, and the judges are actually looking at that and accepting as a defense to what they've done.
Yeah,
But just
but
imagine if every quote unquote black neighborhood, everybody just came together and said, okay, we're gonna open this account. And everybody, you got thousands of people, 2,000, 3,000 black families in this one neighborhood, and everybody say we're gonna put $1 a month in this account. That's $3,000 a month that's gonna go into this account. So every time that anybody from that neighborhood that they know, we're not talking about the ones that just made a decision of what their life is gonna be because they got to stand on what they do. But we talking about the ones that might have been a little lost, might have gone a little astray, or that's just innocent, period. Instead of allowing them to go into a court system with a court-appointed attorney,
Ooh.
say, nah, we already got a fund. We're gonna go get this lawyer. We're gonna help this one. Half of our young men that go to jail wouldn't be in jail.
mhm,
Half of them, probably more than half, in jail because they have think about it, a court appointed attorney. The place who is looking to judge you, I'm going to give you the person that's going to represent you while I sit here and judge you.
mhm.
While they're getting paid by the state, I'm getting paid by the state. Oh, and by the way, the person who wants you to go to jail is also getting paid by the state, the DA.
Conflict of interest. Conflict of interest.
And they see each other every single day and talk to each other and have lunch and
play
plan
golf.
stuff out before. Like a lot of times before you even go to court, the DA is talking to the court appointed attorney like, listen, hey,
Mhm.
man, just tell that dude plead guilty. Tell him if he try to fight it, I'm gonna go for 50 years. But if he just go ahead and plead guilty, I give him 20.
Yeah, they do that.
Mhm.
You 16, 17, 18 years old and you thinking about spending 50 years of your life in prison. I don't want to spend 20 years of my life in prison, but hell, if I do 20, at least I'll still be in my 30s when I get out, as opposed to being in my 50s. So it's like, and I know I'm guilty. I mean, I know I'm innocent, but they done made me guilty, and they done made it seem like there's no way for me to get out of it. So what do? You
Well,
take the plea.
well, B Dub, but I can say something even that we can actually that you can actually do or whatever. You remember? I think it was when Ahmaud Arbery when he had got killed, and was it Ben Crump? It was a bunch of civil rights activists that was actually inside the courthouse themselves. A lot of people that could actually
That
put
too.
eyes on this thing. You see what I'm saying? Just in case they try to railroad the people that was involved in this thing or whatever. So instead of these people just focusing on the high profile crimes, what about just anybody that's being that needs representation, that needs some eyes to be looked on these different cases that's going in front of these judges, instead of these young men and young women out there getting railroaded, you have a lot of these people that's high profile people come to these different events
But
and not let a lot of us keep getting railroaded out there. You can
but
actually do that.
Deidre, they have those people in place, but they not doing their job. That's
No,
why you have local. That's why you have local NAACP chapters.
They
what they
That's
scary.
why that's what you supposed to have them
They
for.
scary.
But see, that's the thing. You want the title, but you don't want to do the job.
They don't want to
right.
get their hands dirty.
And
They come
so
in,
now you known as okay, I'm on it. Yeah, I'm on the NAACP. Yeah, I'm doing this. I'm on a black such and such and such and such and such for my community. But that's all you're on there. But what are you doing? What are you doing,
Nothing.
sir? What are you
Nothing.
doing, ma'am? You want the title, but you don't want to do the job.
listen,
And a lot of people will stop getting railroaded if those local chapters would quit relying on Al Sharpton and whoever else to come down. And when they coming, they only coming because that's the spot on the TV.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right, right.
Somebody that one big. I'm gonna hit this
Yeah,
one up.
that's what I was gonna
No,
say. They only want to come for the glitz and the glam.
yeah, don't come for the glitz and the glamour. We need those. See, on NAACP, I'm gonna use Corsicana for an example. I ain't calling no names, but I can think of several on there. All of them work with somebody that they afraid of. Well, I ain't gonna go. I ain't gonna say that because then
Preach.
I'm gonna lose my job, or people look at me like I'm crazy. But if you a person that's right and you for right, what is it a problem with saying something? How can you pose a problem by asking a question?
Mm-hmm.
That's exposure right there. All you got to do is ask one question, the right question. And I'm at the right time in front of the right people. And I promise you, I ain't going to say it's going to come to a complete stop. But people will stop outright doing stuff that they know they ain't got no business doing. But they do whatever they want to because who going to hit me? Who going to pop me? Who going to ask to be questioned? Ain't nobody asking nothing around here. I do what I want to do.
Right.
So when you have a community and a group of people that have like outright displayed that type of mental state, they don't care nothing about you doing nothing. What you gonna do?
Right.
Yeah, we have an NAACP here. One of my classmates just stopped me Sunday and asked me for what? I don't want to join a group that's gonna complain. I'm not fixing to go
And
to
do
no
nothing.
meeting and sit there every week, every month, and we complaining. For what? I don't want to listen to no complaints. What are we going to do? You wasting my time here. I don't give y'all my money. Y'all see y'all don't win and bought your little spread to have a meeting with. I don't want no salad. I don't want no sandwiches. I want to know, what are you going to do to help better this community as a people?
Right.
Nothing at all but complain. Do what you're doing now and sit up on the stage. And when somebody want to have a banquet, you front center with your legs crossed or sitting with your posture straight up, just to say I'm on this. I'm a part of this. but you a part, or are you doing your part?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. But no, the NAACP, you know what? I lost a lot of respect for them when they gave Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union that award at the NAACP award thing that they gave out. So, you
But
know,
that's the thing to, you gotta do that when you in cahoots with the other people. You gotta make it look like you in the loop. That's a paid deal. You do this and we'll keep hope alive for you. Other than that, right now it don't take too much. You turn on channel 13 and NAACP gone. So what you want to be? You want to be on Telemundo, or you want to be on Channel 4? Which one? Choose. Pick your poison, honey. Which one is it gonna be? So I mean, my thing, they doing what they need to do to keep hope alive, and that's why we're steadily dying. I mean, just think about it. Like when I say that the 50s are modernized, I mean it with all of my heart and soul. Like we had families that were stripped apart. What's happening now? What happened in the 80s? What happened in the 90s? Families were partially put back together in the 70s, but we have to modernize the 50s and the 40s. So guess what? And that's when I say the exception came. I'm gonna give you something, but you gonna give me everything, because I'm gonna take that man out your house. I'm gonna give you welfare, but I'm gonna take that man from you the same way they did in the 30s when they took your husband and they hung him right in front of you, and you couldn't do nothing but turn the other cheek. So welfare was a gift, but the man being gone was the modernization of the 30s and the 40s. And it just keeps going on and on and on until we as a people understand and know. Because see, our mentality as a people is, again, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Everybody out here trying to survive. Everybody out here only thinking of self. And do you
That
know
word
how
right
far we
there.
could get along if we thought of everybody as a group, as an individual? But we so happy we got a little bit of the freedom that we have. Shit, the first thing hey, that ain't me losing my job. Shit, I ain't finna lose it, because they feel like what they worked for is beyond what they could ever accomplish.
And Big
I
Love,
went to
you
work. I
said the
worked
most
40
important
hours.
word. You said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You said the most
No,
important word: survive.
yeah,
Survival was the death of the black community,
yeah,
definitely.
because we so that's all we want to do. That's literally all we
mhm,
want to do is
that's
survive.
it.
That's why we're susceptible to these fake, little offerings or whatever. Because we'll take anything. We'll take whatever we can get.
Hmm.
You got people that's able bodied that can go out and work, but they'll rather take a check because, well, man, if they're gonna give
Hmm.
it to me, shoot, whatever it take to survive, they're gonna
Yeah,
give me. I'm gonna take it.
yeah.
But like, and going back to the NAACP and people not doing anything, that's also a part of integrity. All of it is a part of integrity. Like at some point, you gotta have some integrity about yourself
Yeah.
to do more than number one, just survive. And then number two, not worry about it. And the crazy part is, black people are the most religious. We so spiritual. We know that God
Mm.
got us, but I'm not, like you said. I ain't trying to mess that up. Well,
Right.
what if God wants you to do that?
Yeah.
Like, so you really
Now, cause
a hypocrite, because you trust
there.
anything that happened, something bad happened.
Uh-uh.
God, that's what God intended for.
Say that one more
You
time,
know.
because I swear, when something going on, that wasn't meant for them. God didn't mean that for them.
Yeah,
But we the people that keep going through the most. But God, because, and the reason, oh my Jesus, you just said a mouthful, baby. When I'm telling you, when God say as a people, and y'all still ain't understanding what I'm saying, they was killing y'all off in silence. Now I gave y'all a video camera for y'all to get it and see it. Now I gave you Facebook, I gave you IG, I gave you everything so everybody
hmm
can see it, and y'all still sitting here lost as a group. Lord
and
have mercy, Jesus.
you
What
know
else
what?
do I need to give y'all?
I had a conversation with somebody before, and this was my personal opinion, my theory. I was explaining it like this, going all the way back to Rodney King. Rodney King was a test, because when that happened and that video came out, black people told California up. Now, granted, most of it was our own neighborhoods, which was misguided, but it's just the fact that we did something immediately. Like, no, this is wrong. We're not standing for it. And they told California up. And then it got quiet for a while. And I think Trayvon Martin was a test. That was the next test because it didn't stop happening after Rodney King, but they were very careful to make sure that none of that stuff was on the news. People can tell you stories. I was watching a documentary one time. People were talking about all kinds of stories where something similar happened to their family member, you know, in the 90s and the early 2000s and stuff. And all this stuff was still happening. But we from 1992, from the Rodney King riots up until Trayvon Martin, we didn't really talk about police brutality as much. We in the community we did because we knew it was happening. I'm talking about mainstream media didn't really talk about police brutality. But then suddenly Trayvon Martin happens and they just have this sudden urge to put it everywhere. And it's like, okay, let's see what they're gonna do. And you know what we did? We bought T-shirts and signs and we walked up and down the street. So I said, okay. Well, nobody damaged nothing. Nobody, okay. Now they show you John Crawford. Now they show you Tamir Rice. Now they putting it all out there. They showing us everything that's happening. We get to see it all. And what have we done? Not a damn thing, but buy T-shirts and hold up signs.
Complain.
So
all the while still fighting each other.
Exactly. And now it's like it's become to the point where now this is everyday life. You know, people we see somebody get shot by the police, like, another one.
You become numb to it, B-Dub. You become numb.
Exactly.
It happens so much.
But that's what I said. Is they have proved their point. Again, that's 1930 being modernized to 2023. Because what did black people do when they seen somebody hanging or getting lynched or getting beat by the police? Oh, there go another one. You know, it's nothing. Nothing.
And see, I can, and as long as you don't fight me back, I'm gonna keep bullying you. See, because the only way to get a bully to stop messing with you, fight back. And when you fight back and show that bully you not scared, then hey, they'll leave you alone. But we don't do that. We too scary. We too busy praying for each other, trying to have faith. And they ain't saying nothing wrong with that. But you gotta fight back. See, if the police will stop shooting us if we do to them what they do to us. But we scared to do that because
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just saying because and then they do try to make it seem like of course the media blow everything out of proportion, but the only way to get a bully to leave you alone is to fight back. And I'm not saying we got to go out here and kill police or nothing like that. No, we got to use our head and know how to. We got to use it the right way. We have the power. We just got to use it.
Yep. I look at I don't know if y'all were, because I barely watch the news. It's depressing to me, but I do keep up with a few things. This probably was a month ago, probably not even a month ago, where those black people went into Mexico and were shot, and they let the female go. She went. It was 4 people that went. It was a black lady and 3 black men. Well, they went into I can't remember the name of the town, but it's like 30 minutes from Progreso, and they wasn't even in town, probably 20-30 minutes, and they shot 2 of the guys. One of the guys survived, and the female, she survived. But they showed the entire video of them like taking him out of their vehicle and dragging him. They showed where they shot one guy and how they drug him and just threw him on the back of the truck with the lady, because they threw her on the back of the truck too, and then threw the dead body right next to her. But it was a pretty much a retaliation from the Mexican cartel, because those black people they came from America to rob the stores there. It was a drug deal. Wow. Basically, they were going to rob the pharmacy there. And it was kind of like a thing where I don't know what y'all do over there, But over here, nah, we're not doing that.
Right.
And I'm telling you, no time. They wasn't over there 20, 30 minutes good. Gone. But her family, the female's family, had already told them.
Yeah,
had told them, was said on the news that the girl had already been over there once before. So they was already looking for her to come back. But it's just a thing of how they protect their own. You know, I'm gonna protect what I have over here in this area because this belongs to me.
Right.
And from that, it plays back in your mind. I wonder how we would be as a people if we stood up for each other, if we protected what we had, the little bit that we did have. How would things work? Because, like, going back to the court-appointed attorney, or just say going back to the Rockefellers, we'll do that. Those children didn't get to decide what they wanted to be.
Right.
They were told, you're going to be this, you're going to be the doctor, you're going to be the lawyer, you're the, you're this, you're that. Because they didn't, and that kept them from not needing anybody. We need everybody. Because guess what? When we get those degrees to become a doctor, a lawyer, a pharmacist, whatever the case may be, then we think we them.
Mm-hmm.
How many attorneys you know that are African American and somebody on a case, and you can look at the case and tell they're innocent, and what they say, child, I ain't finna do nothing for free. I ain't doing that.
Mm-mm.
And so that further lets them pull up that 5th grade mugshot that Charles was talking about from the boys' home to continue to demonize this person.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing good and well, whatever it is that you're accusing them of is really something to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the reason why a lot of us, but we still don't really do a whole lot and fight back is because a lot of our ancestors, we still had a PTSD from how our ancestors was treated. When you hang somebody in front of their whole family members, and
traumatizing.
It's traumatizing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so can I modernize that?
No other race of people have been through as much as our people have, our ancestors have been through. So I can guarantee you, had another race would have gone through what we've gone through, they probably will be, will be PTSD like we have it with our people.
But this is the thing. This is the thing. When you say that, I'm gonna modernize what you just said. We still have PTSD because once we do one thing wrong, we lose everything. We still doing that today. It's just modernized. You say one thing wrong at work, guess what? You lost your job.
Yep.
And you lose everything.
Yep.
It's still a little bit of hope there because guess what? I'm gonna give you again that leeway that you complained about. I'm gonna allow you to go work at another job. But you can't come back here. You can't come back to this plantation because you did the absolute most.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna spread your name, but I'm gonna give you an opportunity to go work at the Thomas location.
Right.
So that's another job for you. But in the meantime, because I know this is your craft, and I know you're an electrician, and I know you set in your ways, I'm gonna call all of my friends that's in the same business, and I'm gonna blacklist you for a while because you're gonna have to lose something because you disobeyed me.
Right.
So it's a modern day lynching. We are still going through the same thing that we went through in the 30s. Is just modernized, and that gives them a clear and with a we it's modernized with a little bit of sugar on top because now we feel like we have more freedom. But in our reality, we don't.
Right.
Say something wrong if you want to. Act like you don't like somebody if you want to. Yep. Tell me what they gonna give you a raise?
Nope. They're gonna give you a paper lynch is what I call it. Paper lynch.
Your marching papers.
They're gonna lynch you on paper. They're
Yep.
gonna say, a lot of people. They're gonna have a lot of people with a lot of signatures on it you ain't never seen in your life. To make sure that you won't be able to support yourself, to feed your family, so on and so forth. It's a paper lynch.
Yeah. Just like anything else.
That. Oh, go ahead, B-Dub. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, just like anything else, slavery hasn't ended; it just evolved, just like everything else.
Oh,
it went
say
from
that
physical
again.
to mental, and now it's financial. It's like you say, just like we talked about it plenty of times. These athletes and these high status celebrities, why won't they step up in this situation? Why won't they say something? Well, if they say something, their money go bye.
It does.
Nah, I can't stand with Kaepernick. He on his own on that one. I ain't trying to lose my check.
Yeah, because you say something if you want to.
Master
act like you want to back him up. You want to. The same way he gone, you gonna be gone. And nobody wanted to know. It's very few that took that chance.
And see, that's where the mental part come in, because think about it. 75% of the NFL is black. Just sticking with that example.
Yep.
Oh,
so if every last one of y'all say, nah, he play or none of us play, what they gonna do?
Shut down. 75%. If we make up 75% of the NFL, do you not know how much money they would lose?
Exactly.
Shit.
And do you not?
But you know what? But you know what? They not gonna lose. They not gonna lose, because guess what they gonna do? They gonna break and they gonna let Colin play.
Yep.
Exactly.
If everybody was to stick together, they ain't finna lose like that. The NFL was playing when COVID was in.
Everything else shut down. Church shut down. Everything.
We don't realize that. Yeah, they may have the resources, but we the source.
Exactly.
That part.
Exactly.
We got to understand the fact that we are the source. The economy will be completely shut down.
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna give you one even better from a female.
If we all knew what kind of power that we have,
right?
Nothing be done. Well, nothing.
Right.
I'm gonna give you one from a female's perspective. Let every female for a year stop buying bundles.
Ball hitter.
And see where Chinua Chong, where she got to go.
What's her name, Reggie?
Chinua Chong.
God,
see where they got to go.
Jenny's finna go out of business, because you know
Jenny going home.
Jenny
and Kim
over there. Yeah,
and they going home.
Yeah, but
they going
home. Even in all of this that's going on, even though we are being demonized in all of this, why do we fight each other? It is sad.
Because I'm gonna give you the reason why.
Crazy.
Pamisha, you answered. We answered your question earlier.
Oh, my bad. My old Boost Mobile internet over here was tripping. My bad.
We answered that question. No, I'm talking about it. And all we've been talking about. Who else we gonna fight?
Man, it's crazy, y'all.
Really, if you think about it, we don't fight anybody. We fight each other because we're mad at each other. Yeah. Because what do we say? What do we say? What did Red Ass Smokey and Craig on Friday? Man, why y'all didn't help me? You're right. That's why we mad, because we know the truth. Deep down inside, the truth is in there. And we're begging and asking, why didn't you help me? Just think and break that all the way down. Okay, we talked about kids not being the village is gone, so that kid is no longer my problem anymore. That's Rachel and their problem. They the one can't control that kid. But then that kid breaking in your house, that kid stealing, that kid on the corner selling drugs because they dad had been pretty much displayed and demonized as a drug dealer. So don't nobody want to hire a drug dealer son. So now he ain't got no choice but to sell drugs. And then a black person that owned the hamburger spot on the corner, he not gonna help him because his daddy was a drug dealer, and going on and on and on. So now everybody's mad, but all that kid want to know is, why won't anybody help me? My daddy's problems is not my problems. That's why we fight. Black on black crime. I hate when people say that. Black on black crime. Who the hell else live next door to us?
Yeah.
Name one Chinese person that live in the hood. Name one Japanese, Chinese person, Asian person that live in the hood.
They just got hair stores and chicken places.
Name one white person that's wealthy that live in a hood. We're fighting over there for the word that Charles said that I put on blast, which was survival. Everybody over there is trying to survive.
Yep.
So I don't call it black on black crime. I call it survival. Because you're not putting anything in our neighborhoods to even make us any value anything. Y'all got Sprouts. We got HEB.
But check this out, though. When you just gave a scenario about you don't have no Chinese or you don't have no white people, wealthy white people, or you don't have no Arabian people or Jews in your neighborhood. But the minute you go out of bounds and step out and go and commit a crime and you're in front of that judge, your peers gonna look. Those are the people that you just named. That's not in your neighborhood. Those are your peers that's gonna be judging you. But they don't know nothing about your background.
Can't relate at all.
No, none of that. But you are being judged by these people. You see what I'm saying? That make sense to me.
We play a role in that as well. It's funny you mentioned that because me and one of my cousins literally was just talking about this the other day because he was talking about he had jury duty and he was upset that he didn't get chosen. And I'm the same way. Like when we get that notice for jury duty, like, oh, I ain't going. We act like we didn't get it, or we go and try to make up some type of story. Like, no. When you get that notice for jury duty, go and do your best to, because you never know what that case gonna be. Because I guarantee you, because I don't even know if, I ain't gonna say it because I don't want to get him in trouble. But I speak for myself. So I've been selected for. I went to jury duty twice, and I didn't get selected. But had I got selected, I promise you, I'm gonna say it. If the defendant was black, it was gonna be a hung jury. I promise you. I don't care what he did. I don't believe it. I'd be like on the Chappelle show. I need to see him holding his ID with his grandma in the background, saying that's my baby. Like I don't, you're not gonna convince me.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a hung jury.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I mean, because you like you were saying, you can't put somebody that grew up in a suburb. Y'all hear me because my tongue is tied.
The suburbs.
Thank you. On the stand to pretty much judge me from somebody that lived in the hood all day life. Like, you're not gonna understand. You cannot relate to that person at all. How are you gonna tell me? And not saying that these people have a pity party, because I don't believe in my mama was a crackhead, so I got to be a crackhead. My daddy was a drug dealer, so I got to be a drug dealer. That's all a choice. It really is all a choice. But then you have some people, the kids that's out here, like you sending these kids to juvenile because they keep going in the store and stealing. How do you know that that's the only way that these kids can survive? You don't know what their parents are doing to where they can't feed them.
They don't care about that.
So here it is. You're going to take my child, 12 or 13 years old, can't really fend for themselves, and put him in a juvenile detention center because he's stealing, or put him in CPS custody because mama ain't doing what she needs to do. Texas is the world's worst when it comes to demonizing African American community. When it comes to the court system, they'll take these children, stuff these children in CPS custody, make their life even worse than what it was before they went, majority of them, and you wonder why they come out the way they were. They do. Period, point blank. You offered no help. The only thing you did was take. You took me away from my family. You took me away from what you felt like was painful for me, when all is still I probably could have stayed there to better it. I probably could have stayed there to help. If you would have let me stay a little long, next year I was turning 16 or 15, I could have went and got a job. I could have went and helped. Even though that's not a kid responsibility, you don't know what cards were given to you or given to someone to play out. And this system just comes and they just take and take and take and take. And then they turn around and they look, oh, well, we didn't have nothing to do with that. You had all to do with that.
Yeah,
because you were a part of it.
Yeah, you're a part of it. You created this system that we in. You created it. And when you got somebody that's trying to survive in it, people not going to just sit there and just starve and not survive or whatever. If there's something to eat, and if I'm asking you for it, and you ain't giving it to me, you are eating it in front of me, and my stomach is touching my back. Your instinct is going to take in like, man, listen, I'm not going to sit here and die or go without. I'm going to take that from you now. I asked you to give me some of it, but you didn't want to give me nothing. You see what I'm saying? So, but this condition, this systemic conditions that we are in, they're the ones who created it. But like they create this system or whatever, it's black and white to them, but to us, it's gray. They don't know how to read between the lines. They don't know how to read the gray area between the lines. They don't care to hear nothing inside the gray either. They want it black and white. That's it.
Yep.
And that's the reason why we're in the condition
no
that
between.
Yeah.
Not only do they not know how to read between the lines, they don't really care to.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Because just like Beloved was explaining, that's not their background. I remember I had a conversation at the I was about to say not class reunion, but just before we had our class reunion, I was talking to a classmate, and she's got some very specific views about certain things, which I'm cool with. Like I like having those type of dialogues because that's how information gets exchanged. You know. But we were talking about housing, and she asked the question. Obviously, she's non-melanated. Why don't black people buy houses? Why do they live in apartments? And I asked her. I said, well, why do you live in a house? She said, because I grew up in a house. My parents had a house. Well, okay, why do they have a house? Well, my grandparents had a house. Oh, okay. Why did they have a house? I don't know. That's just how my family lived in the house. That's how it's been all the way going. Oh, okay, cool. Well, you only have to go back 2 or 3 generations, and my people was property. Mm-hmm. Like that's you have to think about it because we want to act like slavery was so long ago, and numerically, time wise, it may have been a period of time ago, but you have to also talk about Jim Crow. You have to talk about the after effects. People act like Abraham Lincoln literally sat down and signed the Emancipation Proclamation, and all of a sudden everybody was equal.
Right.
Like the world just like Thanos. Like, somebody just snapped their finger and everybody's equal, everybody's the same, everybody got the same opportunities. Like, no. There's a long history of post-slavery that we need to talk about. We have to talk about the fact that loitering was not a law. Loitering didn't exist until post-slavery because the slaves had nowhere to go. So then they created the law loitering. So now if I'm outside of somebody's store asking for a job, not asking for a handout, like, hey, I'm free, I'm not a slave no more, this is what I know how to do, can I work for you and get paid? Now, if I do that, somebody's gonna come along and say, "Oh, you're loitering," they're gonna take me to jail. What happens when you go to jail? We know about the prison pipeline, how they prison lease program, where they arrested slaves, newly freed slaves for simple stuff like loitering, jaywalking, whatever, give them an exorbitant amount of time, and now the plantation owners can lease those slaves back to their plantation from the prison. So now the prison's making money. I'm free. I'm still not getting paid, and I'm right back where I was just the other day. The only difference is, well, now he can't whip me and beat me anymore, but I still have to do what he say, or I go to prison.
So can you modernize that to 2023? What is that now in 2023?
Same thing.
That's what you call minimum wage.
Yeah. And what else?
Give you exactly what you need to not survive.
Mm-hmm.
So that you have to do a little bit extra just to survive.
Yeah.
So now I control you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do something to try to survive because this ain't making it. So now I'm gonna try to go, do a little something to make the little extra. Now I get locked up. Now I go to prison. Now I'm making clothes. I'm making license plates. I'm making TVs. I'm making all kind of stuff for 2 cents a day.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Same stuff that we go out and buy. I'm making it in the factory on prison for 2 cents a day.
Which is that Louis Vuitton purse that one of our cousins don't work 3 months to save up for, that she think is real, but it was probably made in the prison by Ray Ray.
Okay.
I'm just saying. But back to what you were getting to, Charles, when you told when your friend was asking about the homes, did you tell her we don't have the same lending procedures as y'all do, and lending?
Oh yeah, we talk
can
about
I call
all
it?
that red line.
We don't have the credit or collateral.
Yeah, and even when we do, that was the point I'm making. First of all, we don't have the mentality to buy houses because that's not the norm for us. Mm-hmm. And then for those of us that do, it's we get denied for loans. Even when we have the credentials, we still get denied, or we only get approved for certain areas. Okay, you can buy a house, but you gotta buy a house over here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're in this public school district where they don't get a lot of funding.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't buy this house over here in the good school district.
Right. Yep. Drug infested, riddled with drugs, and by a liquor store. That's where you can get a house right over in there. Yep. That's how they do you. Mm-hmm. Most definitely. We got some comments in the comment section. So I want to go ahead and read them. And we appreciate you guys for watching and joining the Burning Coast podcast. We do live shows every Tuesday, 8:00 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on YouTube. So we want to say thank you all for just joining and entertaining yourselves and watching us as we talk about why we are being demonized. So Ray Robinson, she says, demonized means portrayed as wicked and threatening. When you are wicked, evil, violent to your own people, why expect to be treated differently by society? It's not right. It is what it is. Amen, Ray Robinson. And she also adds, power in numbers. Fight for the right cause. You'll get something great done. Allison Formby, she says, Ray Robinson, they've been doing that since the very beginning, though, cuz we each other like God, and they still hate us and attempt to smear us. Man.
Can I go back to can you go to Ray's first comment?
Yeah.
And she says, when you're wicked, evil, and violent to your own people, why expect to be treated differently by society? I'm gonna say this, and I know that people they say, oh, that's just an excuse. That's just an excuse. Black people have 1,001 excuses, and I could say that they're valid. And we as a people should know, even though you may do evil acts, always ask yourself why. Consider the source. Why did this person kill this person? Why? And when you, okay, prime example, people want to talk about black on black crime. Okay. Tony shot Jeff over at the park the other day. I'm just giving an example. It was a drug deal gone wrong. Okay. Well, everybody's mad because it's a black on black crime. But why in the hell did Tony even have to shoot Jeff? And people say, oh, it's an excuse. It's an excuse. No, he could have went and got a job. He could have went and got this. You don't know people's efforts. So when blacks kill blacks, I always consider the source. And I don't just look at things from eye level, from TV level, from media level. I want to know, really, honestly, what was this person's upbringing? what was this? We all know we weren't born with a silver spoon in our mouth. So all of that goes all the way back to survival. I hate that we kill each other. I hate that we steal from each other. I hate that we backstab each other. But at the end of the day, the key word at the top, what the foundation of all of that is survival, because we're out here trying to survive. We don't have what other people have. And is it by choice? No, not really. We in a world, we really don't have a choice. Is we get the cards that were handed to us and we deal with them the best possible way that we can. And again, people use that as an excuse every day. That's what they call it. That's what most people call it, because they tired of hearing it. Oh, that's an excuse. No, he could have went and he could have done this. He got the same 24 hours in a day that I do, just because his mama was a crackhead. Well, your mama may have been a crackhead with only one child. You were the only child. But his mama was a crackhead and she had 5 other kids and he was the oldest. So you didn't have the same 24 hours in a day that he did, because he had to go feed 4 other siblings. He had to make sure they were bathed, ate, in the bed, and ready for school in the morning. So no, y'all did while you sat at home, and when your mama was out and gone, you could sit and read a book in peace. And that made you one up, 2 up, 3 up on him, because you were able to teach yourself. He didn't have that opportunity to teach himself.
I'm gonna push back on that a little bit, because I think it matters what age we're talking about. We're talking about kids, then I would tend to agree, although we don't like that it happens. It's kind of one of those, it is what it is type of things. Even though it shouldn't happen, we don't like that it's happening. It's happening, and there's certain reasons why. But I think when you're an adult, and I've said this before, when you reach a point, no matter what your age is, but I'm just saying adult, when you reach a point where you know that your background and your upbringing was wrong, then at that exact moment, it now becomes your responsibility to fix it. So if you're 25, 27, 30 years old, still doing this type of stuff, then it's on you. It ain't got nothing to do with who your mama was, who your daddy was. Right. It ain't got nothing to do with you getting bullied in school. That's just like this shooting we was talking about in Nashville that just recently happened with this pronoun person. You mad about what happened to you in elementary school because you went to a Catholic school and they don't agree with that type of lifestyle, but here you are 28 years old and now you want to go back and shoot up the school and kill innocent kids because you didn't like what happened to you when you was a child?
That's crazy.
I don't accept that. No.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But that goes back to what I was saying. Even though you're older now, and sometimes you can't use that as an excuse, but some people still do. But what about when you get to that age? What if you have used that, and not so much as an excuse, but a cry out for help? My mom was a crackhead. I went to this school and I didn't like the way I was treated. So I behaved like this for so long, and now nobody wants to deal with me because I behave that way. So what do you do when nobody wants to deal with you, or nobody wants to, not necessarily say join in on your pity party, when you truly asking for help at 27, 28 years old, and nobody wants to help you because you can help yourself now? Well, mental health is real, and it doesn't matter if you're 12, 18, 24, 48. It's real. But
it's
again,
real for some. I think, and I think I feel bad for people who are actually dealing with real mental health issues, because I think mental health has become the new trendy buzzword and the new excuse that a lot of people use. But you're right, it is a real thing, and people are going through stuff. But also too, help means, and this is just my definition, this is the way I feel like it should be everybody's definition. If I ask somebody for help, that means I'm already actively doing. And I've reached a point or reached a wall where I need some help to get over that wall. A lot of times people just sit back and don't do nothing because, like you said, they get I'm like, I understand what you're saying, because if you said something or thought something or believed something for so long, it becomes a part of who you are. I get that part,
For
but
some
still, it's like at a certain point, you have to help yourself first. You have to do
exactly.
for self
Mm-hmm.
first, and say, okay, you know what? When you got in trouble, ask the judge. Listen, I need help. Please, can you not send me to jail? Can you send me to a facility? I need help.
Good luck.
Where you think they gonna go? Where you think they gonna send you
Well, I
though?
mean, but I'm just saying, like you have to make it some type of effort, and
Yeah,
you have to put some type. You can't keep doing the same stuff and
you
then
can't.
wait till the consequences come and then say, oh
Mm-hmm.
well, you know, I asked for help, nobody helped me. No, you have to start doing something for yourself first, because even if
Mm-hmm.
you gotta leave town, if you gotta leave town to go to a whole nother city, a whole nother state to try to reinvent yourself and start over, like I don't know, each situation is going to be different. But my
Mm-hmm.
point is, you have to do something to
Yeah.
start showing that you are helping yourself, and then people will help you. Because if you keep doing this, is the thing. One time an accident, two times a mistake, three times a
Mm-hmm.
choice. So if you steady doing the same stuff over and over, that means you're choosing it. So first things first, you have to stop choosing that, and we have to take accountability and accept. Uh, I I be talking to my young guys all the time. This is one thing I always tell them: some mistakes that you make, you can fix. Some of them you can't fix like right away. Some of them you can fix it right away. Some of them you can't fix it right away. Sometimes you have to live through your mistake,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that meaning it's gonna take time. So you
Mm-hmm.
may do something, and okay, my family was hungry. I was trying to feed my family, so I went and stole these groceries. But now I got caught, and now I got 5 years probation. Okay,
Probation.
well,
Yeah.
you gotta you gotta live through those 5 years of doing the right thing and making right decisions. That's just what it is. You can't get mad because now you went and did something else and got caught, and now you got to serve that 5 years. Be like, man, they could have they had no. You made that mistake for whatever
Mm-hmm.
reason, and we can appreciate the reason and understand and feel sympathetic or empathetic as to why you did it. But now
Mm-hmm.
it's done. So now, if
Mm-hmm.
you want help, you have to be active in the help. Like how they say, help me, help you. You
Help
got to
me
be a
help
part
you.
of the help as well. You can't just do the same stuff and be the same type of person, especially if you're doing like really bad stuff, and then be like, oh well, nobody did this for me. Because I hear you. I hear you. I get people say that all the time. You know, they'll do stuff, and the first thing they say, man, you know, B Dub, you know, I ain't had no daddy, you know, like the stuff you be saying, like I understand, but you know, I ain't had no daddy to teach me this stuff. Okay, but you got me now, and I'm telling you now. So why are you still doing the same stuff? I don't care what your daddy didn't tell you. Now you know, because
Mm-hmm.
we done had a conversation about it. So don't go and keep doing the same stuff and then come back telling me about how you didn't have a daddy.
Mm-hmm.
You had somebody. I'm quite sure you had somebody. And even if you didn't, like I said, now you got me. So now what's your excuse now?
Right.
See what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
like I get what you're saying, and I definitely agree to a certain point. Like people, when you were groomed to be a certain way, and a lot of times it's the parents. I despise when I hear parents saying things about the other parent around the child, and then they'll try to
Oh,
say, "Oh
that's
no, I
unnecessary.
don't say bad stuff about my baby mama, my baby daddy." No, you just say it to the person next to you while the child sitting over here
Right.
listening.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So now you telling your cousin, well, the reason she do that because her daddy ain't know. That's why she keep getting in trouble in school because of her daddy, because of his daddy. Well, what you think they gonna do?
Okay.
Well, the reason I
Yep.
keep doing it because my daddy, you know, or
Mm-hmm.
my mama, you know, my
Yep.
mama always says so. That's why, like, but again, at a certain point, when you become a certain age to where you become conscious enough that you didn't like the way you was brought up and that it was wrong, then you are now conscious enough to start making it right.
You're right.
Well,
You're
we're gonna
right.
go ahead. I got one more comment, and then we're gonna go ahead and close it, you guys. Uh, Ray Robinson, she also said, it's a choice. Reason means nothing when you take someone's life respectfully.
Oh
Throw the
yeah.
whole deck of cards and get a new one. We must make change, break cycle. And we thank you guys for joining. We appreciate you guys for with the comments as well. EQ, B Love, B Dub. You guys got final remarks? So we'll go ahead and close it for the night.
Thank you, everybody, for supporting the Burning Coals podcast. Remember to please like, comment, and share every Tuesday night. Panel, this was a great discussion. I hope y'all have a good night and all that and a good rest of the week. But I got to get off of here because I got to get on this other meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good. Y'all have a good one.
All right.
Same to you. Good night. I pretty much just don't have any remarks. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep. B-Dub, what you got?
Love yourself and love your brother. That's it. That's all.
And that is the Burning Coals giving you the bag moment. So now that you got the bag, what you gonna do with it? So we say thank you guys. We say thank you guys for joining the show. We appreciate you guys, and make sure you guys tune in next Tuesday for another great episode of the Burning Coals podcast. I go by the name of Mr. Know-It-All. We got B-Dub, Boosie Weirdo. We got B-Love in the house. We got Educated Queen. And we got our guys, Mr. Jamal. We say so long, you guys. We say thank you for the love and support. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit that share button. Hit the subscription button. And we will definitely see you guys next Tuesday. Good show.